also pointing out how many managers that I talk to that say, I've given them every answer to every question. We've gone through the book. We've gone through all of these things. And at the end of it, they go through a training in 2 or 3 days or a week, and they still can't sell.
Yeah.
My students still don't know Spanish. So this is something I think that we see happening, not just in teaching, but in sales and marketing. And in a lot of industries, this kind of disruption of attention is happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've got to think that for sales managers working with their salespeople and for salespeople working with their clients, a lot of times you think, I told them in very clear, specific words what it is that they needed to know. But of course, if we're experts at it and it comes so easily in our brains, when you've got to introduce something like that to somebody else, in my case, it was high school freshmen learning how to conjugate verbs in Spanish. But for a salesperson, it might be educating them about a new product. And there's all of these million things going on in their brain while they're trying to take it in. Salespeople learning from their managers or clients learning from their salespeople. Right. And not only are they trying to gather information, they're also trying to fit it into their paradigm of what their business looks like. And they're also having their BS meter go off, like in the background. And they're going, is this too good to be true? And with all of that noise in your brain, it's like, hey, I need to slow down. And I found that so much in the classroom too. I could conjugate a verb as well as anybody. I could speak fluent Spanish, but my students couldn't. And I realized that I needed to slow the pace down and I needed to try to put myself on their level instead of going at a level that I was comfortable with.
And I love what you just said there, because it's so important. As managers, a lot of times they've risen through the ranks, they've become top salespeople, then they become the lead of the team. And sometimes they forget that what it was like when you first started out, so that the things that now seem so easy to you, it's hard for you to understand why it's not easy for someone else. It's like the other side of the Dunning-Kruger effect that not a lot of people talk about. They talk about the, inexperience leads to overconfidence, but they don't talk about the reverse of that, where it's the more experience you have, the harder it is to sometimes teach because you can't understand why they don't get it.
Yes. That's so true. That's why whenever I get done with a training or, whenever I've gotten done working with teachers or doing whatever, if I can get that feedback from people and I could say, hey, what do you actually remember from what I just said? I get done with a keynote speech. What do you actually remember? And it kind of puts them on the spot, and they feel bad when they say, well, I don't know. And if you prod them a little bit, maybe you'll get something. But that's like the true indication that you have actually taught something, that someone has actually learned something from you. And it's hard if you don't remember where they are and you don't put yourself in their place.